This is an updated review of my Boker Plus Tech Tool number 8, and this has been with me for a couple of years. It's Sandvik stainless steel 12C27, and it's fantastic. Maybe a little bit heavy because it's got the saw, but even if you get the scissor version, which I forget what number that is, and they're hard to get these days because they seem to have stopped producing a lot of them. But even if you get that, it's still going to be pretty heavy. So I've got a new one as well. That's the 12C27 steel on the Tech Tool Boker Plus Tech Tool number 2, and it's much thinner. It's actually a lot lighter, but it's ebony wood, so the handles actually add a little bit of weight, but it's a lot thinner. I think it's that reduction in the thickness of it is actually a big deal, because the steel that Boker used for the bolsters is actually quite strong, and it's quite heavy, I think, as a steel. So what has happened with this tool? I use it quite a bit, and it's fantastic in the car, just repairing around the house and such. But I decided to do the screwdriver mod that everyone else online was doing, or had paid to have do by that. There's a fella who has a YouTube channel, and he did this, and so I tried it too. And I've made it so that it basically locks in, and it's really, it takes a lot of pressure to undo that lock. Have a look. Wow. So that's actually kind of good, because that's going to give you a lot of strength when you're doing tasks, so you're not going to have it collapse on your hand so easily. So I'm really liking that fact. So how did I actually do this? Well, I undid all the T6 screws and gave it a little bit of a clean, and I took this implement here out and I cut away and its shape. So when you open up, you'll see the hole where the T6 screw goes through and then sandwiches all those bits together. And then it's got this, so if I'm facing it this way like this, it's got this rounded section, and then it squares off where you can see this, I'll just undo that, where you can see this little sharp bit is here, just in there, and that sort of was squared off. So you can see now I've cut away at it, so there's a little gap in there. It's actually really hard to see, sorry. So there's a little gap in there. And so really what I did is I cut down, I used a marker, and I had this curve section, and it does flat and it goes straight to the tool. So I went along with the curve, didn't interrupt that curve, and I went straight down with a file. So I curve, then straight down with the file, and then cut up a little bit. It's only like 2 or 3 millimeter thick. And then I found it wasn't really closing properly, and so I had to cut it away diagonally. That's why it's got that sharp part on it now, but it's buried inside there. There's no way I'm going to get caught on that. And it locks really well having done that. So it's square. It's got that curved section of the tool. When you open up, you'll see that it's curved, and you just go straight down that curve into the tool about 4 or 5 mil, then across a couple of mil, and then diagonally to the edge. And it's a little bit of a guessing game, but that isn't life. So yeah, but it's turned out really fantastic. So to put it in place, I've got to lock it down by doing that. So it's really safe. I'm really pleased with that. Now I've got a screwdriver on this Tech Tool 8 anyway, which is the T-shank Phillips head. And it's great having a full Phillips head. Fantastic, really. But I really hate using T-shaped screwdrivers. And anytime that I need that sort of torque, I'm at home and I've got power tools with Phillips heads on them anyway. I don't really need a Phillips head like this when I'm out and about personally. Some people might have jobs where they need that, but I don't. So I don't need that so much, and I found it a little bit cumbersome. So I thought, well, I much prefer to use this tool as a Phillips head in line. I think it's much easier to turn and twist it around like that, especially if you've got like a lot of threads on your screws. It's actually pretty important. So what else I did is I just gave it a little touch up, so it was a little bit more articulate. So it's pretty much the same shape, but it's a little more articulate. Shaved a little bit off this side, you can see it's a bit burnt. And I also shaved a little bit extra off this side, and I've also made this a package opener, and it's not quite sharp enough yet, but it does cut through softer materials, paper, sellotape, sticky tapes. But for thicker cardboard and waxed cardboard, I think I'm going to have to sharpen this up a little bit, which does bring in a little danger if I'm having to unlock the tool like this. Maybe there's a potential of cutting, but I don't think there really is, so I should be fine. So I'll probably sharpen that up into an even more impressive box cutter type thing, package opener. And yeah, there's the update of the Tech Tool Plus number 8.